Are you ready? Stand by.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave Hartman, and welcome to The Three Gun Show, the world's largest three-gun podcast. This is episode 234 with special guests Adam Maxwell, Josh Froelich, and Josh Tarrant. And we discuss physical three-gun matches, which has been like a pretty interesting topic and was definitely the topic of conversation at Hard as Hell, Utah, which is where we recorded this for obvious reasons. And since we talked about it all day on the range, we figured it would be fun to record a podcast and share our thoughts with the community. So, after listening to this episode, let us know what you think. Post on Instagram or Facebook, leave a comment on the episode at threegunshow.com. Whatever, just let us know what you think of the podcast. Like, did we get it right? What do you think of physical matches? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you want to shoot more of them? Do you want to shoot less of them? Let's hear it. In other news, I've mentioned a few times on the podcast that I recently moved to the Austin, Texas area. I spent the last week building the new Three Gun Show studio with my brother. He drove all the way down from Wisconsin and brought all his woodworking tools to help me build 3 big workbenches, hang wall paneling, lay carpeting, etc. And the place turned out pretty awesome. I'm so pumped about how the studio looks right now. Anyway, I'm happy to have it the studio built. And over the next couple days here, I'm going to be running wiring and get all the microphones, cameras, and everything set up in there. And we'll be back to recording new episodes of the podcast and putting out YouTube content as well. So good stuff coming in the future, and I'm really freaking excited about it, and I'm happy to have you along this journey with me. Also, new Patreon exclusive podcast is dropping this Friday. So if you're a Patreon supporter of the Three Gun Show, you can listen real time. And if you aren't, consider joining at patreon.com/threegunshow. That's Patreon. And the one that I have in mind to put out this week is going to stay Patreon exclusive. So you can only hear it as a supporter of the Three Gun Show on Patreon. All right. Now, without further ado, enjoy this roundtable discussion with Josh Froelich, Josh Tarrant, and Adam Maxwell.
Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Glad to be here, Dave.
Yeah, good to talk with you.
All right, we're doing a Hard as Hell round 2, and we have our buddy Adam Maxwell back with us. Adam,
what's up?
Feeling tired, buddy?
Not at all.
Not at all?
And I've been pre-gaming, so I got some personality in me. Monster.
Oh. I was like,
Get your mind out of the gutter.
And Mr. Josh Froelich joining us. Josh,
What's up?
how you doing, dude?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Yep, so far so good.
So far, so good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to my right here, Josh Tarrant.
What's up, buddy?
Josh, welcome back, dude.
Thanks, man.
It's good to see you.
You as well.
You feeling good?
Feeling great.
You're like squirming in your seat?
I love these matches. They're fun. They get me jazzed up.
I love being jazzed up. All right. So
He's rocking a Three Gun Show T-shirt, too.
He is
by the
rocking
way.
a
So
Three Gun
get
Show.
yours.
Hey.
I am.
he ordered the schmedium too.
That is a
And he's-
large. That's a large, but it looks like a medium.
Those pecs definitely make it look like
He looks amazing in the Three Gun Show T-shirt.
I hate you guys.
You should get yours at threegunshow.com.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right. You too can look semi-okay.
And do other stuff kind of okay, too.
Tarrant doesn't want to set the expectations for the listeners too high.
Works out.
So, yes, let's set the stage real quick. So we're Hard as Hell 2018. We just got done with day 2, ended a little bit prematurely. And we're kind of relaxed here. We're getting ready to go to dinner, but we wanted to get a little bit of podcast in talking about physically demanding matches. And it seems to be I don't know if you call it a trend at this point, but there are more matches on the calendar that are like this than there were when I started.
For sure.
I would say, the longer you've been in the sport, you can kind of see the ebbs and flows of different matches.
It's like a pendulum, right?
Yeah, and also I think we have more matches on the schedule now, so there's so many different three-gun matches going on that you can start to put them into categories.
Right. And so I think with with a lot of people wanting to jump in the 3-gun matchmaking space that it's easy to go ahead and set up like a fast 3-gun or fast USPSA or 3-gun nation style match in bays, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's also clean because like everything's flat. You go out and set everything up and stuff like that. But the thing that got me into 3-gun was a video from like 2009 of an Iron Man stage.
Yes.
It was the one that Sinistral Rifleman put up, and he's actually on the squad in front of us, which is kind of fun. And that got a lot of people into 3-gun. Like that specific video, I hear a lot of people talk about that. I was like, that's what made me want to shoot 3-gun. So we kind of got away from that for a few years for whatever reason, trends, I guess. Want to go really fast. I think 3-Gun Nation influenced a lot of that with their Pro Series on television.
Some of them have been going on in the background, but I think a lot of other matches or other styles of matches diluted them a bit.
What do you mean? Explain that.
So back when, like, this match has lineage back to some of the original Outlaw 3-Gun matches that have always been going on. Blue Ridge is one. Blue Ridge has just been going on the whole time.
A long time.
And they give no craps about what other people are doing. They're just doing Blue Ridge. Mm-hmm. Well, at one time, Blue Ridge was one of 5 matches a year. Now it's one of 25 matches a year.
Yeah, so it's like 20% of the matches, and then it drops down to 5% of the matches.
Right.
So that's a good point, and that's what I was trying to say, but you said it in way better words than I used.
That's why you invite me on.
Good job.
Good job. Good job, hey, Max. Did you just clap for yourself?
No. It's called sound effects because you don't have any buttons yet.
Oh, okay.
I've been asking you 2 years for a button board, man.
We need a sound effects guy. Sound effects guy. Where'd he go? We had a guy last night.
Hey, Max, when you want to buy the button board, I will hook it up to this little recorder thing.
Sweet.
Exactly. All right. So apparently it's not that important. But anyway, so we're here to talk about physical matches. Josh, Froelich, can we just go Froelich and Tarrant? Is that okay?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So Froelich, this is your first super physical match, right?
Yeah.
You shot Red October last month, I guess. Oh, wait, no, we're in December now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So in October, you shot Red October here at Southern Utah Practical Shooters as well, Tactical Performance Center, et cetera. And it was less of a physical match than it had been in previous years, but we were still required to do a lot of things that ordinarily you wouldn't expect to be required to do in a lot of quote-unquote like base style matches, like crawl through Cooper tunnels, like literally crawl, not just walk low.
Real low.
Yeah, and then go through tunnels under grates and things like that. And I think you're right, Amax. Like it was definitely diluted because it's much easier to put on a match at a range that already has bays, and most bays are made for like USPSA or just general shooting.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, Josh, your first match out, we talked a little bit about at Red October that you're going to be shooting some matches like this just to kind of dabble in that arena.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty awesome, actually. For 4 years, I've completely just stayed away from them. I always just wanted to develop shooting skill and just learn how to run the guns in a controlled environment, and I want to be tested on shooting those guns. That's always been the goal. That's why I've stayed away from stuff like this. And now I've shot probably like 40 or 45 of those matches where you stand in like an area that's super controlled and you pull triggers and you go fast and still fun. But something about all of this extra stuff is kind of interesting, you know. And so far, I think we've got 4 or 5 stages done. And it's like 3 stages in one. So you start talking about mental challenges. You got to remember 3 stages in one. There's so much stuff going on, right? And so it's been pretty cool. I've enjoyed the experience, and I think that first impression, I want to do more of them. Yeah, it's been a fun challenge for sure.
Yeah, the remembering part of it gets to be tough.
Yeah.
And for me, I like to joke around. Like, so I'm pretty like immediately forgetful of things.
Okay.
So I'll walk into a room a lot of times and think like, why in the hell did I come in here?
Yeah.
You know, and then I'll go back. I'll go back to what I was doing, and it's like, oh, I need a screwdriver, and then I'll come in and grab the screwdriver. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I've always joked around, and maybe to my detriment, like I'm imprinting that in my head that when I walk through a doorway, I forget where I am.
Yep.
That kind of thing, or forget what I was doing. And this match, like we're changing bays a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because this is technically a bay match. We're at bays. They do a lot of unique things where you're climbing up on stuff inside of bays, climbing up on berms, climbing down berms, jumping up and jumping down things. But when we switch bays, like now it's a whole new stage. Like there's a 25 target array that I have to shoot.
Yep.
And remember everything after what I just shot in the other 2 bays with the other 2 guns.
Yep, and they like to throw, I've seen on the last 2 stages that we shot today, something complex at the beginning that just gets your heart going, gets you moving, and then they throw you into a bay full of paper with rifle.
Yeah.
And it's a memory stage. And there's targets that you could shoot from 2 or 3 different spots, and those are challenging for a lot of shooters if that's all you're shooting, if that's just the stage itself.
Just to program in, yeah.
Just to lock it in. It can get choppy in there, but they throw it here after 45 seconds of shooting, and you've already got your heart rate going and you're breathing heavy and you run over, you got the new gun, and time to reset and try to figure out, okay, forget everything I just did, whether it went good or bad, like forget it, and now just shoot this piece. Yeah. The segmentation of the stage mentally has been a challenge. It's been something to do. You got to do it well.
Yeah, and it challenges the chunking thing that you and I were talking about yesterday. Is generally you can put stages in chunks. Like, okay, this is the chunk where I'm going to be doing the bird shot, and this is the chunk where I'm going to be doing the pistol, and this is the chunk where I can be doing the rifle.
Right.
But then when those are expanded from like an array to like a whole stage.
Yeah, the whole bay.
Yeah, the whole bay. Yeah. Yeah, they're like the memory stage that you were talking about with the rifle today, like I had that during walkthrough, and I'm like, oh, cool, no problem. There's 3 points I'm going to hit. And then when I got over there, and the first thing that rattled me was that we had to go – our first shooting position was from like a rooftop.
Yeah.
We shot like a popper and a
activator.
It was like a bobber.
Bobber is what it's called. I was expecting a swinger. I thought it was popper, swinger.
Okay.
And so when I saw the bobber, I'm like, well, that's weird. I just kind of stared at it.
Is that a malfunction?
That's the weirdest swinger I've ever seen. It swings up and down. No, it just swings up and then never comes back again.
Okay.
So then when I left that position, I did not go over the top. I went around, and then I had to come back and go over the top.
Yeah.
And that threw me. So once I stepped into the shooter's box, I'm like, what am I doing again? And that just basically screwed it for me for there, and ended up being choppy. But this is a match where you can actually coach.
Yeah. You can.
If you want
and
it.
it could be positive. It might not be. I mean, I've come out positively once. I had a malfunction, a mag issue, and was lucky enough to have somebody hand me a mag halfway through. Like, that's cool. Yep. On the other end, if you get 2 or 3 people shouting this or that at you, and I'm double plugged, so I can't really understand what most people are saying. Mm-hmm. Just sounds like everybody's yelling at me. I don't know if they're telling me to stop, I'm DQ'd, or so I'm just shooting. I'm just trying to ignore everything, and you got all these people yelling. So it could be positive, could be negative. I'm not sure what my opinion is on the coaching yet.
Yeah. Well, and so you can. I should have told you this earlier, but you can tell them, don't coach me.
Yeah, I probably have to do that.
Yeah.
I specifically did. I did tell DJ that, especially after I watched him coach you.
Well, yeah. Well, so DJ asked me, I'm like, yeah, just let me know if I missed these targets. But he, I would say overcoached me, but we didn't have like 10 minutes to come up with a plan,
I told him respectfully, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help.
Let me know if I'm doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm about to do something really dumb, or I blatantly blow by something, otherwise, it's just too much noise. It's just too much going on.
Yeah, there was one where he shouted little one on the left as I was leaving a position, and I went back to that position because I was moving to my right, and he said left, and so I moved back to my left, and he's like, no, through the other port. And it's like, well, shit, dude.
You were on the clock, and I was videotaping. You're like, this is confusing. In the middle of shooting, you're like, this is so confusing.
Did I say that?
It's on the video.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, and we talk about it a lot that, as you go around the country, there's different styles.
Yeah.
What you're talking about right now, it's a very Western style thing. Yeah. The ROs tend to talk to you a lot. They tend to allow you to have crowd participation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Both in coaching help and in the receiving of equipment and ammunition. But I would say it's kind of a pain. I guess I don't like it. I wish they would shut up. But at the same time, it kind of sounds bad when we talk about it on the show, but like, it also, you have to understand that they have the best intentions at heart.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
All those guys
yeah.
are super well intentioned. They're trying to help you through because they know you probably forgot half the things you want to do. So they're kind of get on this script of things they want to say, but at sometimes you either have a different plan than what they're saying, so they're like telling you to do something opposite of what you're trying to do, or they're prompting you when you didn't need a prompt and you're like already on to the next thing. And it's like, well, what?
Yeah.
What do you?
The watch the muzzle when you jump over the berm was kind of like, is anyone not watching their muzzle when they jump over the berm?
My first hard as hell, there was a guy that, and we're gonna shoot part of that stage tomorrow, and then part of that stage on another stage tomorrow.
Yeah.
But he was shouting like one left, two right, or whatever like that. The RO was shouting that.
Yep.
And at the time, like I had shot a bunch of 3 Gun Nation matches that year, and so I was into like this competitive equity, 100%, remember your stage and things like that. And I wasn't really in like this air quote spirit of hard as hell kind of thing.
Yep.
And so I told the guy, like, okay, well, I don't want any of that, right? And so there was a pistol through like a zigzag thing, and then you run into another stage and you shoot rifle through ports on a trailer, right? So you're like on your knees, literally on your knees, because you couldn't stand, even if you wanted to. Like, so I told him like, don't coach me. And then I'm running through the zigzag thing with an egg, and he's shouting two left, two right. And I'm like, damn it! And so as I'm running across the bay, I'm like, stop coaching me! Like I was yelling at him. And so he didn't coach me for anything. And I passed a port, and he's like, you missed a port. And I came back and I shot that port, hit the target, and then I finished the stage. And so he saved me 3 FTEs.
Oh, wow.
And so on the unload stroke clear, I was like, I'm sorry. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes your way and it doesn't go your way. It just depends, you know, sometimes, just like you said with the mag thing, you know.
Yeah.
You'd have been hosed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Even worse.
We counted it up. Okay, so that's a unique style stage where you're accruing points for each target you neutralize.
Yeah.
Did we count how many points you would have lost on that one?
Yeah, I did.
100.
Do you remember what it was?
100 is 2 spinners, wasn't it?
No, those I did lose.
Those you did lose, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it would have been
70.
70. Okay.
That's what I picked up after I got a bonus mag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would have been 70 points that you lost if Travis wasn't able to hand you that mag.
Yeah. He's
Mario.
an amazing individual.
And he's also sitting right next to you.
So going back to the egg, something that's super unique about these matches, and you kind of get both parts. So not only are they longer stages, more kind of sometimes more complex, and typically harder because they're longer or physical, you also get the shenanigans and fuckery that come with it, right?
Yeah.
So
For sure.
speaking of the egg, and we get this in all these, so it's unique to Hard as Hell, it's unique to the Rock Hard match. You get a little bit of it Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge is mostly just kind of hard and long, but Hard as Hell is
dodging bolts.
Yeah, well,
Trigun usually has effery.
yeah. So the effery kind of pops up in certain matches, etc. But it's big here, right? So you mentioned the egg.
Yeah.
We had a stage today where you had to shoot 48 some shotgun shells holding a clay in your hand.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
It's yesterday, yeah.
Well, so describe the clay because people are trying to figure that out.
Yeah, so it was one of the mini clays, and they punch the center of it out, so you can put a little pinky finger through there and hold on to it, but it has to be in your hand the whole time you're shooting.
Yep.
You're crawling through this B-17 bomber that they kind of built a replica of, shooting in and out all these positions, climbing up and shooting out of the top gunner position, and then running
shooting
down.
aerial clays, you're shooting static
all kinds
steel,
of stuff. Yep.
And then you run out and you shoot another popper, kicker, popper, another popper, kicker, popper, another plate rack.
Yeah.
And Brian came over right after I had shot that stage, and I broke my clay.
I did too.
On accident, which is a 60-second penalty.
60 seconds.
And so what put it in I'll finish my story, and then I'll say what put it in perspective for me. But Brian came over after that, and he's like, what'd you think? I'm like, dude, this stage was badass. I was like, that clay sucked, and it didn't suck enough to make me hate this stage, but it was completely unnecessary because this stage would have rocked the house without it.
Yep. Did he agree to remove that penalty for everybody?
No.
Damn it.
You know what he said?
Good. Hard as hell. Ha.
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 He said ha.
Hard as hell.
H-A-H, hard as hell. Ha. That's the thing.
him-
Anytime you complain about something, it's
I asked him
ha.
if I could use a hair tie to hold it on the back of my hand, and he said no to that.
So my question is kind of for Josh. So you're experiencing the harder stuff, but you're also experiencing for the first time a lot of the foolery.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I like the harder stuff.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of the extra stuff.
Yeah. Well, what Josh, you said yesterday, or Froelich, what you said yesterday, sorry, this is confusing for audio listeners, but was the penalty is what a good stage time would be for this stage.
Yeah, stage 1, that was the deal. If you broke that clay on your pinky finger while you shot 50 shotgun shells.
Yeah, and if you're in tack, you're also loading.
Oh, yeah. Well, even in open, I'm slamming mags, and there's a huge risk of that heavy-duty movement snapping that clay on my hand. My stage time was like 68 seconds on that, like before penalties. If you break the clay, you double your time. Double.
Luckily, I only added like a third to my stage time.
Got it.
Totally acceptable then.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I mean, that's where it hurts the worst, right? If you suck at this game, and most of us did when we started, and sometimes I still do, you're going to time out, and you get what? So this is a 5-minute timeout,
Yeah.
right? So then you add 60 seconds on top of that. That's like insult to injury, right?
Yeah.
So that part kind of sucks. But I think the stage brief that we got on our first stage from Ken Nelson was like, he's like, some things you're not gonna like, some things you're not gonna agree with, but you're gonna sit and do them because this is hard as hell, and this is. And I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, we've been vocal about that before too, and we talked about it a lot on the recon of this match from previous years. And so I know that they've heard that, and they continue to do it, which tells me that, I mean, this match is, well, according to Ken, this is Brian's brainchild. This is the match he wants to put on.
Yeah.
And, it is, I think if you were to ask him, if you were sitting right here, he would say that, yeah, it is a really harsh penalty because I want you to respect it,
Yeah.
If it was less of a penalty, we were talking about, if it was less of a penalty, you would just crack that thing in your hand and chuck it on the ground.
Yep.
But now it's 60 seconds. Now you got to respect it.
Yeah.
And I think, whether you like it or not, that's his intention, when you sign up to play this game.
I respected it so much I broke it on my first shot.
You did.
First shot. Hanging off the pinky of my support hand of my shotgun. Fired one round, smash. I'm like, well, there it goes.
Well, at least then you can shoot the rest of the stage fast.
Well, at least it
that's
wasn't
key.
the last shot on the plate rack after loading the whole damn way.
Yeah, that's the key. Is once something like that happens to you, it's like, well, it's gone now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
on. Yep. Forgot to yell Oklahoma.
Yeah, what the heck?
Oh.
Yeah, our squad decided that
inside
we would
joke.
yell Oklahoma if we broke the clay.
Yeah.
Which was pretty humorous to hear
It was-
screams of Oklahoma.
Inside the bomber.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Oklahoma. Everyone starts laughing. Yeah,
Other squad's like, what?
What? What are you guys doing?
I was trying to spread that, and I don't think any of the
Didn't
squads around. Nah, they didn't get the humor.
Poor sense of humor on the other squads.
I think so.
that's what it is.
Yeah, or maybe it was the messenger. Who knows?
Killjoys.
Yeah.
So that was a good way to start, though, with Ken, with our squad.
Yeah.
On that first one, he's like, the way he set it up, again, being my first match like this, I was like, all right, I can accept that.
Same
right?
here.
I came here to party in a new way. I'm just going to play the game that they put out in front of us, and I will try my best to save my impressions till I get done and just experience this for what it is. Try my best. Obviously, we have years of shooting different things, and so everything in your mind is like, that's not right, or this is not right, or I really like this, but I got to just time out, just shoot it for what it is, and then when I get done with the match and have some time to really look back at it, make some serious final impressions of the experience overall.
If that's the case, I guess I'm really glad then that you came this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this year is very representative of the match that the reputation is built on.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, if you would have come last year, if last year would have been your snapshot in time when they tried to shorten the par times,
Yeah.
and lots of people were timing out.
There was a little grumpiness.
Yeah, it was a little bit sour,
A little sour.
in people's mouths, but like I think this year is representative of the hard as hell that we fell in love with.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
And this is, for most of us, or a lot of us that shoot a lot of matches too, this is a fun match at the end of the year.
Yep.
I come into this one, it's my third year shooting it, and I come into it with a total mentality of like, hey, It's been an awesome season. I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform. Some things went well, some things didn't. Obviously, how matches go. But this one is just, like you said, you're here to party. Just here to have fun.
Yeah.
You just take it as it comes. You got all the shenanigans. You got the hard stuff. There's definitely shooting challenges in there that you just do a whole lot. But it's just a fun match to hang out with. You're in the desert. Usually the weather is not bad for December, at least for those of us in the Midwest. So that part of it's just a fun way to end the season. It's a good bookend of the season for me, at least.
Yeah. Well, and I really enjoy doing matches like this, and it makes me realize like how much I've personally slipped on like my physical fitness over like the last 2 years that I've been shooting 3-gun, because ordinarily it's 30-second stages and it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah. So this, I think, has given me renewed focus on stuff I need to fix in my own life, and looking forward to 2019 and the match schedule. I want to focus a lot of my effort on matches that are going to be like this, like super long stage times where you can get a ton of shooting in, cover a ton of ground, because it's a nice reminder of like, this is why I started shooting 3-gun. Like, I didn't start shooting for super fast technical bay matches, and those are great in their own way. Yep. And I've certainly enjoyed a lot of matches that have those, but this is why I started shooting 3-gun.
So what's also interesting about this match is that it has like baptized individuals in the sport to carry the flavor of this into brand new matches that didn't exist before. So I was lucky the first year I shot this, I shot with Bruce Davidson, Brian Ray, Brian Vaught, Dave Horn, all those guys. Well, Bruce Davidson was his first time shooting it, and he had so much fun out of this match. All he was doing the whole time was writing notes about, this is what I'm going to take back to Kentucky, and this is going to be my match come spring. Yeah. It's called the Rock Hard Series, and he started that, and his whole idea was, it's going to be twice as hard.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's so much harder. It's so much harder. I've shot that one 2 years in a row.
Harder in what way?
Way more physical, way longer stage times, just harder. Everything is harder. Stages are longer. Now, it's only a 6-stage match, 2 days, 3 stages per day, but it's brutal. And it's in March in Kentucky at Rock Castle. It'll be going again this year for the third time, but it is harder. That's all I can say. The stages are longer. The stages are harder. The physicality is more. Still a little bit of shenanigans and stuff, but it was cool to watch Bruce look at, watching him shoot that match with him, and then him take those ideas and then, move them over. And then that rock hard as hell series kind of started this year, which was kind of the genesis of that, coming here and him loving the flavor of this. And for him, that's all, in his opinion, that's all 3-gun should be, is this kind of stuff. Like, that to him is like, this is the pinnacle of 3-gun existence, is these types of matches. So
yeah. Well, and I even talked to a lot of guys that are like, oh, Blue Ridge is my favorite match ever. Yeah. And it's the best match in the world. And I went to it and unfortunately DQ'd, but I was like, I mean, this is cool, but
epically
DQ'd. But I didn't think it was the best match ever. Granted, I only shot a fourth of it, but
I've shot it once.
Third of it.
I shot it once. I thought it was okay. Personally, okay.
When you're inducted into the 3-gun Hall of Fame, that's the story they're going to tell.
Of me DQing it at Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Every time I reshare that, and I've done it like every year, I think. Just it plays so well on social media.
No, it does.
Just nothing plays well like
failure. Yeah.
Yes. Eating shit so hard that like my foamy comes out of my ear and my feet go over my head.
I don't know how many posts I can put in the basement of just killing a quad load, but the one time that I
nobody cares about your quad loads,
smash rounds into my face and just like, what happened? Then that one gets 20,000 views and gets shared 1,000 times.
Wait, that's hilarious. That's a video.
Oh yeah, I shared that one. Oh yeah, I quad loaded so hard and missed that the rounds came back and smashed me in the face.
Always wear iPro, kids.
Not in my basement, but probably should.
You apparently need to.
Yeah, probably do.
Gonna poke your eye out.
It's that time of the year. Poke your eye out.
Yeah, it's almost Christmas.
That's right.
So what matches are out there, Adam, that are of this style? Like Iron Man is the biggest hole in my heart. I've never shot Iron Man.
People are probably tired of me talking about Iron Man. But
bring back Iron Man.
Nah, no one's tired of you talking about Iron Man.
Really? Oh,
no, okay. Change.org. Everyone go to change.org. There's a Bring Back Iron Man.
Yes.
And then
the White House will have to address the Gibson family.
Exactly. Donald Trump will have to address it. That's why I started it.
I'd like to see that.
That would be fantastic.
Go sign the petition.
How many
Go sign the
signatures?
petition.
I'm in.
It honestly does exist. There's only like 100 signatures right now.
How many does it need before it gets?
I don't know, but
Elevate.
we can do
I
it.
think it's like 20,000 or something like that.
Can you sign it more than once?
Almost there. Almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
it's 20. It's almost 2019. You could come up with like fake accounts.
That's true.
Anyway,
Change
so,
one
like,
letter of my name every time.
Matches that I would put into this
Tarrant.
category, I would say it's hard. Like when you talk, I think there's a couple different categories because people have different interpretations of what's hard.
Yeah.
Like rock hard. My perception of it is that they took this concept and they made the physicality more.
Yes.
More running, more
running.
carrying of heavy things.
Yes.
Yes.
More flipping of tires.
More strapping of equipment to your body.
Yes.
Before you start shooting. So that's one element of the hard stuff. I think what a lot of people don't understand or doesn't translate when they hear us talk about some of these matches is the amount of shooting.
Yeah.
Is what makes it hard.
This is a metric S ton of shooting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tough
you're loading out.
targets.
Like, you're borrowing caddies.
Yeah.
You're borrowing caddies. We had to pool buckshot and tough targets.
Really tough.
Like, if you take out that clay, like, those were tough shots.
Yep.
Those freaking flying clays were insane. Like this and that
Crazy.
is
Didn't even see him.
Just literally did not see him. Like, Josh almost got ejected from the match for unsportsmanlike conduct.
False.
Because he threw a second bird. He's like, no, I want a mulligan on that one. No, I'm just,
Is
I'm
that
just
what
kidding.
happened? I don't remember. I blacked out.
But like the average person, I don't know
talk
the average
about your
person,
attitude
but
later.
like, person who just bought a 2011 and they could only afford a couple of those $120 mags.
Yeah.
So they have
screwed.
3, 4. Well, people are going, back to like crowdsourcing. People are behind you, like reloading your mags and stuffing them back in your pouches to get through
As
some
you're
of these
shooting.
stages. Now, also, so
I
we're
brought,
talking about
I brought 6 Glock mags, and I'm like, that's got to be enough. And like,
your last one.
I've never been to a match in the last 2 years, which I didn't shoot hard as hell last year. I've never been in the match in the last 2 years where I've needed more than that.
Yep.
And I was flying, so I was trying to pare things down. And I got here and I saw the pistol stage. I was like, oh shit, I don't have enough Glock mags. And none of the D bags on my squad shoot Glocks.
Bunch of assholes.
Do you not have a pillowcase full of Glock mags as well?
I do, but I left them at home.
Next to the pillowcase full of Glocks?
Yes.
Well, like, my point with that is the average 2011 weighs what, 3 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The average AR-15 for 3-gun weighs 8 to 9 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Shotguns are right in there too. Hold that up. We're talking about 5-minute par times.
Yeah.
Hold that up for 5 minutes. Grab a 2.5-pound dumbbell and hold it at arm's length for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That's what makes it hard. It's not because like there's some drill sergeant just like sucker punching you in the head while you're trying to shoot this thing. It's like
That's
just
the next stage.
yeah. There's just a lot going on.
Tomorrow.
So Matt,
250-yard slug shots.
Yeah.
First year I was here, there was a 670-yard rifle shot.
Yep.
9 spinners for shotgun on one stage. Those little spinners.
Yeah.
On stage 2, 9.
And those were
of them.
surprisingly hard to get over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, they
those
were out to
hard.
like 20 yards
Yeah.
Yeah.
with birdshot.
And full choke.
Yeah.
And they still wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's tough.
Yep. They're tough.
So to ask the question of what other matches are like this, I would say I guess I would categorize them as, if we were to try and succinctly categorize them, I would say matches that have a par time of 200 seconds or more. Mm-hmm. That's an easier list to come up with.
Is that Rocky Mountain 3-gun?
I don't know. I've never been to Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, me either.
Might be though.
Could be.
We'll
I've heard.
We'll give it the honorable mention. So
I don't know what their
Rocky
par
Mountain
times are, but maybe they are.
3-gun, Blue Ridge,
Yep.
Rock Hard fits that.
Yes. Yeah.
Hard
as
Shooter
hell.
Source does. Hard as hell.
Last year, I think the Red October did, but this year it did not.
Yeah, it very much did not this year.
Yeah, and it's going toward not doing that
Yeah.
because the demographic.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of newer shooters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of, maybe not newer shooters, but newer competitors.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
that's accurate. Yeah.
Oh, and Task Force Dagger.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, so that's about a half dozen matches that would fit this category
Yeah.
currently.
Okay.
Of
TFD
big
is one of
matches.
those, is one of my biggest regrets
Yeah,
of
me too.
2018.
Regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets.
No, I got a lot.
I was there. I was at the Woodstock of 3-gun.
Yeah, the original?
Man.
Yep.
The one that Brian Ray said is the first time he ever saw trench foot in real life?
One of the, like,
Wow.
Do you ever just kind of get taken aback by images that stick in your mind, like snapshots in time?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time.
One of those is, for me, of that weekend, Brian Ray, like, bounding through the woods, kind of backlit by the morning sun with the shotgun on his back, like with his muck boots on, and like him specifically with a freaking Manelli strapped to his back, trying not to slip and fall on his ass.
Anytime you're hanging out with Brian Ray, it's a good time, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Anytime.
And
Good
sometimes Vought, too.
Yeah, sometimes.
He's along for the ride.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, of course. Sorry,
But
Brian.
so like
Vought listens to the podcast, so you got to toss him on.
So that means like I can take the effery here or there. I mean I prefer it go away. But I like I'm on record as like being the guy who there's never enough shooting. Like I'm seeking out matches, like we were talking about this a little bit in the pregame, like matches that I would protect if I could. There's a finite number we can go to a year.
Yep.
And so like when you're trying to narrow down that list, the ones that I'm going to protect are the ones with big stages, big props, a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. Ironman used to be that way. Some matches are getting are arriving at that a different way now, like the UML matches. They're starting to have, 15 stages, 15 short. They're having more shorter stages.
I don't think that's a good thing. More shorter stages doesn't seem like that's what I'm looking for.
Right, but
Depends on what you like, though.
you could, yeah.
Oh, it totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I shot Surfire this year with Adam, and I say personally, I thought the format was fantastic. I kind of enjoyed the higher round count of stages. Even those shorter stages are still rounds fired per time on the clock was really high.
They were big round count stages.
They were.
You
Big
weren't
round
covering
count short
200
stages,
yards of area. They were high round count stages.
Yeah, you're sending 70, 80 rounds in a bay in a 30, 35, 40-second stage. That's a high round count
Right.
Oh, yeah.
time. That's a lot.
Or you're starting to see matches that you can enter multiple times. So I realize that everyone doesn't want to shoot as much as I do, but because I want to shoot a lot, I can enter multiple times. So I think that's a positive thing too.
So, Froelich, you were talking about time on the clock.
Yeah.
Remember that for just a moment here.
Yeah.
But, Adam, one of the things that that you just said about protecting matches, like there's a finite amount of resources, right?
Right.
Like I've shot in the last 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. Just a shit ton of matches. And I've been burned a lot by matches that were sold as really good matches and then sucked when you got there.
burned how?
It wasn't as advertised.
Okay.
Like this is going to be, we're going to have 10 spinners. It's going to be amazing. You get there's 0 spinners.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing. We're going to have all this long range. It's going to be the hardest thing you ever shot. And then there's like 2 long range targets preceded by 5 shotgun targets.
Gotcha.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
What I mean by burnt is like, it's not as epic as sold, right? And I think first of all, like Hard as Hell is undersold. Blue Ridge is not sold at all.
It's not
they don't
advertised,
do
not sold.
any sort of promo at all.
Yep.
It just is what it is.
And you can always get into it because of that. It
And you
does
can
have
always,
a
yeah,
flow.
but when you get there, it's more than you imagined, more than you expected, right?
Right.
And it's like super epicness. So as far as like protecting matches, like I have a feeling of me personally what I want to do for matches, right? And so now I have a base of knowledge that I can select like the matches I want to go to. And excuse me, and everyone should do this. It's really expensive to do, but once you figure it out, it's kind of cool to be in a position where you can figure that out. But then there's also like I want to go try new matches. I want to be dazzled by things I haven't done before. So when you do talk about like protecting matches, like those types of matches where you're shooting for like a long period of time on the clock, where you're required to do things that are out of the ordinary, I do like that. If I can jump, well, a match shouldn't be decided on how well you can jump over a water reservoir. Bullshit.
That is the risk, though.
That's what we're doing. If that's what we're doing, then if I can get over that faster than you, giddy up. Let's do this.
Right.
And if you can get over faster than me, I need to, work on my squats,
But that's the catch-22 of it. Is some of the matches that you don't like, or we're on record of talking about things that we don't like about some of these other matches that came out of, a clay thrower isn't always fair. Sometimes it comes out broken.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't go. sometimes this really cool prop, that was really fun, it doesn't work for somebody, and that somebody didn't get a fair and equal shake. So that's how they start taking away those things. Like, one of my favorite things that got me into 3-gun was clays that flip off the catapult launchers with poppers. Those have largely exited.
I haven't seen it in a major match ever.
Because there's ways to
only.
cheat on them. There's complaining about them and things like that. But that's one of the things I liked. And so that was one of the things that was an MGM prop. So there was tons of them at Iron Man. So there's kind of that ebb and that flow, because especially those of us sitting in the room here, we want to do really good at every match that we go to, if not win it.
Yep.
But when you go to some of these matches that they're monster stages that are fun, that's part of what you have to be okay with, is that sometimes you're going to get lucky, and sometimes
you're going to break the clay on the first shot.
Sometimes
that's the
it's
opposite.
not going to go your way, but what I like about this match and what I like about a few other matches that have capitalized on this kind of thing is that, even if I don't get the stage win on a stage, very rarely do I come away from one of these stages not having fun.
Oh yeah.
It was, that the amount of trigger time that went around that one thing dilutes it out.
It does.
It's still a good time, even if this is a match that I would shoot even if there were no scores.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, and I look at this like obstacle racing. This particular match, I look at it like obstacle racing. I was happy to finish the Spartan race. I was never in contention to win. I was happy that I beat some of the people that we came and ran with, but some of the people that we came and ran with beat me, right? But it was a big thing to finish, and that's what this match feels like, And I see Josh over there, Froelich over there, gritting his teeth, nah, I want to score, I want to win.
No, of course I want to win. That's the deal. But you also have to check your pride at the door on a match like this. What I'm learning today, I shot significantly better than I did on day one, because you've got time on the clock. Let's say you got a minute and a half or longer on the clock, and something goes wrong in the first 20 seconds, and you shake it, you shoot the best you can throughout the stage, but you got to just have a good time, because the stages are so long. If you get bogged down by something that didn't go well in the beginning, you are going to trash the stage. And so, I got just destroyed by the Death Star, right? Did a mag dump on it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It was awful. It was embarrassing. I got done with that, and I was like, oh, my goodness.
Delete all footage.
Yeah, no. Anytime I get
world
too
champion my ass.
Yeah, for real, dude. If I get too cocky, you just send me that back. But so that was the deal. But then I had, 60 darn targets or 60 shots after that.
Yeah.
It's that's the beginning of the stage.
Yeah.
And so just being able to shake off garbage and still put up a decent thing, time on the rest of it. And so just checking your pride at the door. It's different, just try to enjoy the experience again.
Right.
It is hard. Difficult target presentations, all kinds of stuff that you have to accomplish, climbing under stuff, climbing over stuff. It's actually fun.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good time. I've got to shake the fact that, it's not this beautiful technical bay shooting experience. It's just get in the dirt.
And that's what I like about 3-gun is that generally you can be more sloppy, right?
Yeah.
If it's a bay match, you need to be super technical. You need to hit your footing within a footprint, right?
Yep.
But you can be more sloppy in 3-gun. You can make it up and stuff. I gotta say that when we were shooting Red October, we have to go down a little hill on your knees, crawling under some grates again, and up a tube.
Yeah.
That's when I saw you do that, I was like, oh, that's the speed we should try to achieve. I was just trying to get under it without whacking my melon, and then I was like, oh, that's getting after it. So when we were shooting the pistol stage this morning, I went under the desk.
Oh yeah.
At top speed to
you
try.
were a ninja.
I was trying. Yeah. I went over it and I went under it. And I'm like, there we go. That's what I was supposed to do. Okay, where did I leave my pistol?
Yeah. And there aren't many times in life you get to feel like a ninja.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a huge element of luck in these matches too.
Yeah.
And luck just kind of has, I think in order to have to walk away from every stage feeling like it went perfect, you got to have just a little bit of luck because there's so many things you do, so many chances to where you get caught by this piece of tripwire or you slip off of a container or something falls out, like some magazine you need falls out, lands in a mud pit, and you're just like,
that happened to me.
And someone hands you a 30 rounder and you just dropped a D60 and you're like, well, I'm single shotting all these targets. And that happens in these
and then
matches.
it's problem solving on the clock and knowing how to adapt, knowing that you need to
Absolutely.
switch to single shots.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Fred, like one of the things you were talking about is that the par time for what are we calling that? The points stage, points accumulation stage. It's let's describe it real quick. It's like a falling steel match where they give you a set par time and then you rack up as many points as you can.
It's the USPSA Pro-Am, right?
Yeah, it's USPSA Pro-Am.
They all have par times. There's more
in points allocation.
In theory, there are more targets than there is time to shoot them.
Right. Yep. Which we proved that is not the case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once that was proved not to be the case on this particular stage, it became you have to shoot all of these targets.
Correct.
To even be in contention.
Yep.
And there's different point values assigned to them.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So the time for that, you said, is like several major matches that you've shot.
Yeah,
Total
250
accumulated time.
seconds.
Yeah.
Like if you look at a major match, 7 or 9 stages or whatever, but they're 30-second stages, that one stage was larger than my total time on many of the majors I shot this year. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
Well,
one stage.
And if you think like time on the clock per dollar spent
Yeah.
for the match ratio, like this is a huge value.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get rid of all the ammo cost because
Yeah.
it's so much higher.
Well, ammo cost is fixed if you're going to be shooting
Yeah.
amount of shoot. You could spend this amount of ammo over 2 or 3 matches.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're shooting the same amount of ammo per trigger you pull. So
That's a very good point if you look at it that way.
For the same fee.
yes,
Yeah.
for the same fee.
Yeah.
Talk about a way to test the gear, too.
Yeah.
Right? You want to push a rifle to 60 rounds, dump it in the mud, pick a pistol up, shoot it 70 rounds, dump it,
Yeah.
I mean, we're pushing all this stuff so much harder than you do at a traditional match.
Well, plus knowing yourself and where to place the gear, like I always put a spare 30-round magazine on the back of my belt.
Yeah.
That will get you hung up on tons of
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
So now maybe you need to put that in the front. Now you need to put that in the front right, front left, front middle. But when you go for that spare mag, you can't reach behind you to go for it.
Yeah.
You need to go for it where it is now.
Yeah.
So it's adapting, that sort of thing. And that's another thing that I like about 3-gun is like USPSA is like if a guy puts on his belt like a quarter inch off, he will spend the next 30 minutes adjusting that belt to get it correctly. But here it's like, F it,
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm putting my shotgun shells on the back because I got to go prone very first thing and then get everything I care about wet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The gear for this is intensive too because you don't always know what you're getting into. And so I was kind of joking on the way down. Like when I pack for matches, I got a pretty good system. My case is all set. Medium-sized suitcase, everything I need. This one, my case is at like 70 pounds. My suitcase is the biggest one I have. It is chock full with all kinds of contingency plans.
Yep.
It weighs 70 pounds, and it's just tons of stuff, and you just don't know what you're going to need, so you bring everything.
Let's dig it. Oh, go ahead.
I think long term, if I shoot a bunch of these, I'm going to be emailing you guys before we come, and we'll collaborate on what gear.
Yeah.
So, like, hey, you know what? I'll take care of knee pads. I'll take care of elbow pads so we don't fall to pieces when we're diving through all this stuff or whatever. And just one guy brings this gear, one guy brings this gear because I guarantee you all of us had oversized bag fees that were just racking up through the roof.
This is my very first time flying, and talking with for a match. And talking with people on the show about flying for matches.
Yeah.
I know like you're supposed to pare everything down, bring like the minimum what you need. So I didn't bring like a rangefinder, any glass or anything because I'm like, I'm going to be shooting the Vortex guys. There's going to be we're going to have a bunch of rangefinders, right?
Yeah.
Funny story,
So-
they don't bring any glass.
Ah, dude.
That's why I'm laughing.
But it's also why he wasn't talking. Come on, Tarrant, pick up on the cues.
As soon as I heard inside 100 yards, it's like, well, that's a bunch of stuff we don't need.
That's a good point. But I'm the kind of guy that likes to know, like, I want to know, is that 17 or 20 yards? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Anyway, so I digress. But so I pared down everything. thinking like they weren't going to let me on the plane with a bag that was overweight. Like I didn't understand like, oh, it's just another $20, son, to pay the ride. So I left a lot of stuff.
It's $100, just so you know.
Whatever. It's good to know.
Healthy.
Yeah. So that's good to know. Good piece of information. But I did not know how to plan for this match flying wise. Like driving, like it's great because I just bring everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important topic. But the to illustrate a point there, like I was like, okay, well, 3 magazine pouches will be enough for pistol. I had to borrow Travis's 2011 mag pouches, the Weber Tactical ones, and I figured out that if you put a Glock magazine backwards in a 2011 pouch, it will stay put. And I only know that because Travis is left-handed, and I had to put them on myself. Okay. And so yeah, I had to use those and use my LAG Tactical ones up front. So that was a whole mess. So I guess like flying wise, like emailing and coordinating gear to bring is very, very smart. And I think that's a huge thing. So know the people on your squad.
Yep.
And if you don't, make friends, you know.
Well, I knew Josh was going to be here. Froelich was going to be here. I knew he was going to be on my squad. And I know he has a lot of Vepper bags. And I don't. You know? So, like, I mean, I would do that going in. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm with that guy. Travis Vogel is left-handed. I travel with Travis a lot. Well, he's got extra mag pouches that are left-handed.
Yeah, you guys are great partners.
Yeah, we're like Bert and Ernie.
If they were left-handed.
If they were left-handed. We're like the left-handed Bert and Ernie.
Well, Josh, you brought a travel partner this time around, too. Did you do any sort of gear planning between you?
We did. So we had to get him spun up. Number one, we got him spun up on long range because
This is Brett, by the way.
My buddy Brett. He's my neighbor. We got him into 3-gun about midpoint of the season last year, and this has been his first full year doing it. This is his first major match. So we thought there was going to be long range, so I got him all set up for that, learning how to sling, just all the gear. He bought knee pads, he bought elbow pads, just all the stuff you need for a match like this. And then luckily ammo sponsors here in town, so we took care of ammo and got that in. So just kind of coordinating all of that. Mm-hmm. Yep, yeah, so Peak Performance is right here in St. George, which was super helpful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So do you treat him like people think the AMU treats their people, of like making him shoot the exact same stuff you do in case your stuff goes down?
No.
And then you can just take it like,
no.
Brett, give me that.
Well, I wouldn't say
light bulb idea.
Yeah,
No, I think I've definitely influenced a lot of his purchasing decisions.
You're getting a new rifle.
No, I think I've definitely influenced a lot of his purchasing decisions, and obviously being a new shooter and being his buddy, he looks to me for guidance on stages and things like that. So yeah, it's fun. It's been fun watching him go through the experience, and shooting on a great squad with a bunch of cool dudes, and bringing them into the fold has been fun.
Yeah, it's great to it's good shooting with good people.
It is,
and getting ready for this match reminded me of something I say on the show all the time, and it's really just like a rule of thumb. Like, the people make everything, right? If your coworkers suck, you're going to hate your job.
Yep.
And looking at the squad that we had for this was just like, I cannot wait to see those people.
I know.
I'm going to get so many hugs. It's great.
Awesome. More than you wanted.
Yeah. It's enough, Josh.
Just one more, please.
Tarrant. That was Tarrant.
False. That was Froelich.
Froelich does not like to be touched.
Yeah, Froelich's not a hugger.
True.
Also, don't make eye contact with him without asking.
I still make him hug me.
So, all right, guys. Well, any other? We're gonna get ready to go to dinner in about 5 minutes here, but let's wrap this up. Any kind of things that we haven't talked about as far as shooting like these big matches, or something you want to throw in there? Maybe you're looking forward to next season, or maybe a tip that someone can take with them. Let's go around the circle here. We'll start with AMAX.
Well, I guess I like what you said right there. We kind of started off talking about as like hard matches or physically demanding matches. Like I think I like big stage matches.
Yeah, big stage matches.
Like if you haven't tried one, I really think you should, because you're not gonna die, despite what people sarcastically say, and you get a lot of shooting in, and that's at the end of the day, that's what you're here for. I mean, like when I was in motorsports, I liked big mountain snowmobiling a lot more than I liked riding at home in Minnesota.
Yeah.
If there was snow on the ground, I would go do it, but like given the choice, I would I would rather come out west and do that. So I kind of equate the two. Like this is like big backcountry snowmobiling to me is like it's an epic event. That's something to experience in and of itself outside of just getting a score.
Yeah, I've done a lot of running in the past, and it was like mind-numbing. You just go into like a meditative state, but obstacle racing, that got me excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And when you talk about these are like big stage matches, that is physically demanding.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. So if you had like a 200-second USPSA stage where you have to hit every single step and you had to program all that in, that would be so mentally taxing. Like that would be amazing.
Without picking up anything heavy or jumping over anything. Just shooting the stage alone would be
absolutely
very taxing.
Just hold that shake weight the whole time.
Do you have one of those, Maxwell? No.
I don't.
Josh is checking his biceps.
Tarrant.
To be fair, Froelich has
yes,
biceps.
check out Tarrant's biceps.
Froelich has pythons.
Oh, it's going a little far.
Tarrant looks like he's got like
scales
a
right there.
boa that ate a snake or something.
Anyway,
Froelich, moving on to you, buddy.
Yeah. So I would say, I spent about 3 months here, really all year, trying to get in better shape. 3 months specifically before this match, not for this match, just in general, doing physical sport-specific training for explosive speed and power and that kind of thing. And these big stages are awesome for that. Like I'm barely out of breath at the end of it. My trigger finger seems to slow down a little bit, right? But like I get done with this stage and I'm like, mentally I'm a little fatigued from just trying to remember what to do on everything. But it's been awesome because I'm not winded. I'm ready to go. And so I think it's an extra motivator to continue to push in the gym to get in better shape and I think long term, as I continue to do that, these will probably end up being a bigger part of the game that I play because I think it's an advantage being in pretty good shape and being able to pick up the heavy stuff and run it over there. It's like, well, I can do that. Run up the hill. It's like, I'll do that while I train. None of those things are new. And so most of the gimmicky stuff or the hard lift, the heavy thing, it's like I'm already doing a lot of that. And so I think that's going to be a strength for me if I come to these matches.
might as well get scored on it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. If I'm going to wear a weight vest, might as well at least, get some points for doing it in a match. Yeah. So it's been fun. And I do like the long shooting challenge, right? Like you say, if you took all the other stuff out of it, and you just put a stage in front of me that I could shoot for 2 minutes straight, that's awesome. That's 4 times as awesome as the 30-second stage, right? I mean, just the shooting alone is amazing. And so it's been a cool experience. I'm going to shoot more. I'm sure of that.
Good. Tarrant?
All right. So everyone is in the sport for the most part. I would assume everybody loves to shoot, and they shoot because it's fun. But I think the thing that I noticed the most about these styles of matches is the fun factor is at a peak.
Yeah.
It's at the highest point. You go to a lot of major matches, and there seems to be, maybe it's the pressure piece. I'm not sure what it is. It seems to be just people are definitely having fun, but there's that other aspect of like kind of disgruntled at how they did, a little grumpy if they're not having a great match. I feel that so much less in these matches. People just seem to be having a ball, just a blast the whole time. People are laughing, they're high-fiving, they're watching some dude tumble down a hill through a mud pit, and everyone's just laughing. It's like dudes are doing stuff you wouldn't do, and they're having a blast at it in these matches. And that fun factor, I think, is really cool. And I think it just keeps people coming back to these.
They're running their own race. It's kind of like a marathon, Everyone's got their own goals, so where you finish seems less important.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, this is like I said. I'm just like Josh. Like I'm here to win. I want to win. I'm pushing to win all the time. But this is one of those matches where I really look at this one as an experience more than just most other matches where I'm really like, man, I got to be in the top 5 or top 10, or I've really screwed this match over. I look at this one as just like it's a fun experience, and if I do well, I do well. If I don't, then I know I had fun anyway.
Yeah. And if you hadn't busted that clay, you probably would have done well.
Probably would, yeah.
Don't let that get in your head. We got 4 stages tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, but
bring it.
You were winning before you did
I was
that,
winning
though.
before that, for sure. Yeah.
It was also the first stage.
It was not a handicap accessible accessory for that stage, having only one pinky. I'm just going to say that.
Well, you got one pinky.
You should arbitrate that.
I should.
I will
tell
say
you to
I did
shoot
not
weekend.
use my strong hand pinky, so I don't know if it was an advantage.
I don't know. I'm just complaining.
No, I understand.
No, it's fair.
All right then. Well, I'll say that if you're thinking about doing like a big stage match, find someone who's driving to it or drive to it yourself, or maybe load up the truck with like 4 dudes and drive.
Yeah.
Froelich, you said that Michael O'Brien muled a bunch of stuff out here for you.
Yep, he was nice enough to bring ammo, and because of that fact, our squad got to shoot the big heavy buckshot stage with the way we wanted to, most of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Without that, I would have had half as much buckshot, and I wouldn't have been able to share.
Some people have been in trouble.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A lot of people would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have had enough for everyone to shoot the mandatory buckshot targets.
No, we would
Right.
not have.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
If we hadn't done that. So
Yep,
first
so
of all,
that's
thank you for that. But
Michael O'Brien right there just
Yep.
coming through,
Yeah.
bringing like 200 pounds worth of ammo out here.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome.
yeah, and that I think is huge. So have a crew, rope your crew into traveling and get them going.
Or, pro tip, price out flying first class.
Oh, okay.
It does not always work. Actually, it rarely works out. But
do it anyway.
But if you shop it out, if you buy a first class ticket and you do the math, you can, because the reason you do it is because when you fly first class, you get 2 bags at 70 pounds
Okay.
instead of 50. And sometimes, if it math works out, but you can do
are
it that way
still
too.
limited to 11 pounds of ammo, as you found out on the way here.
Yes, I did. And that's a
Yeah.
story for another time. But,
It doesn't always save everything.
but if you're like, well, there's no way. I live in New York, so there's no way I'm going to Hard as Hell. Well, hey, man, just, maybe shop around a little bit, and you might be surprised what you can fit into a bag that weighs 70 pounds.
Or you just mail your ammo right in, or have it purchased
I'm just
online
like-
and delivered.
I'm just talking about, drop shipping is another way,
Drop
but just,
shipping works real
just
well.
straight gear, like the amount of equipment you need to bring.
Yeah.
If you don't think you can get it in 2 50-pound bags, just saying, sometimes it works out.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, let's go eat some cattle.
Sounds good.
Deal.
Yes.
Deal.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, before you take off, if you're into this type of content, check out patreon.com/3gunshow. That's Patreon. There you will find bonus podcasts, all kinds of other different benefits of being a supporter of the 3 Gun Show. And you can support yourself for as little as $5 per month. That's patreon.com/3gunshow. Quick reminder that if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, subscribe in iTunes, Google Play, Podcast Addict, or wherever you get your podcast content, so you will always get the very latest. Thank you so much for downloading, listening, and subscribing to the show. I'm Dave Hartman, and I'll see you on the range.
If you are finished, unload, show clear.